It's Razor, Andrew Raycroft, joining us right now again on the Harbor One Hotline. Razor, how you doing, my friend?
I'm wonderful. How's everyone making out?
Making out just fine, just like the Bruins are making out just fine with another big win. And the only thing bigger than that, I'd say, would be the comments that we heard from David Krejci about the coaching change. What'd you think when you first heard that, Razor? It opened a lot of eyes.
It did. I kind of chuckled, and I'm not sure. Again, David's been here a long time, but I'm also not sure if he was doing that on purpose or if it was something that he kind of forgot that he didn't mention, but he wanted to mention it, but didn't want to make it a big deal, but wanted to make sure it was mentioned. I can't imagine David Krejci being the one that wanted to come out publicly to stir a big controversy, but he is also a guy who likes to be pretty honest in his feelings and where he's at. And I felt like he wanted to get that out because he won't talk to the media the rest of the year. So get that out and let everyone know he wasn't quite happy happy with the decision that's been made and happy where the coach's staff is at right now.
So I saw it on Saturday night on a broadcast that Elliot Friedman said that there's word around the league that the Bruins have been making some progress with Pastrnak concerning his contract. Is this going to get done anytime soon? When we hear these phrases like making some progress, does that give you any indication that there's going to be an immediate announcement?
No, not immediate. I think, and Elliot's as piped in as anyone in the league. So Elliot talks to the right people, and when he says that, he means that they are discussing. I thought Don's answer the other day when asked about it, I believe when he was talking about the Pavel Zacha signing, was a straight no. And that should be positive for everybody who wants David Pastrnak to be a Boston Bruin, because there was no color to it. There was no discussing it. It was just a no, which means they're talking. He doesn't want to spill the beans on anything, doesn't want to say anything that could jeopardize whatever progress they've made. But to say that I expect something to come down the pipe in the next couple of days would probably be a little bit over my skis.
Do you like the Zacha signing?
Love it. I think what he's done in this short time as a Boston Bruin, half a season, to be able to play all three forward positions when he was and has been called on to play center. He's done it very effectively. He's figured things out, and we saw that goal Monday afternoon. He's a world-class talent. I think he can score more goals. He's missed a lot of nets. I'm not sure if that's just the way it's gone for him or if that's a pattern, but that's one thing to watch for. But he's had a ton of chances, and he's career high in assists now already this season. So I really like the signing. It's for short money, and he's going to be a big piece of this going forward the next couple of years.
We're talking with Andrew Raycroft here on the Harbor One Hotline. Razor, Sweeney talked about the trade deadline a little bit and sort of indicated that he's happy with what's in Providence. And I think there's just sort of a general sense of why mess with anything on the NHL club at this point. Do you sort of agree with that, or do you think they can make some subtle tweaks?
No, they're going to make subtle tweaks. It's going to be an arms race in the East. Carolina is going to try and get better. Tampa Bay is going to try and get better. The Toronto Maple Leafs have to try and get better. There's no way their market doesn't allow them, and the Bruins are going to have to keep their finger on that pulse. But I'm a big at this point, and where this team's at, and where the team's set up in the future. I know there's been talk about this group and how once Bergeron's gone, what do they get? But I'm not concerned about that. I think the Zacha signing, Taylor Hall, Hampus Lindholm, Charlie McAvoy, these guys are here for quite a bit of time in going ahead in the future. I'm trading every first-round pick. I'm trading every prospect that I have to get better at the NHL level this season with this group that's playing for the Boston Bruins. Now, I don't have the answers on the mix. I don't have the answers on getting rid of a player that's on the roster right now. That would be nerve-wracking, and that's what Don's not losing or is losing sleep over the next couple months. But when it comes to prospects and first-round picks, those are all on the table if I'm getting an NHL player that can help win a Stanley Cup.
So what kind of player would be on your wish list then when you're looking at the depth that this team's going to need making a Stanley Cup playoff run? Is it another defenseman, another winger? What is kind of the list of priorities there?
You can never have enough D. If you're planning on playing upwards of 28 Stanley Cup playoff games, you need more D than the 6 and /7. They've been very fortunate on the back end to have no injuries and have had the 6 playing as well as they have the last 2 months. But you need more there. So big, strong defensemen. You can grab a couple of those guys that have played in the playoffs before. And then you need depth up front as well. I think we've seen that they can handle one injury with this Jake DeBrusk injury, but if someone else goes down, then it gets dicey. So I'm looking for depth pieces. I don't think you need a swing and a home run, but at the same time, the salary cap goes down. You might be able to add a good rental at this. I know they're not rental organization, but this might be the year that they look that way for a veteran guy. But you certainly need some more versatility, I would say, up front. A guy who can take some face-offs, a guy who can play both wings, one wing, to add to depth up front when inevitable injuries come.
Razor, first shutout of the year for Swayman last night. He's 10-3-3, I believe, 29-shot shutout for him. This has been kind of a weird year for him, obviously, with the injury and with Ullmark playing so well. How do you think he's handling it all?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. It didn't start the way he wanted it to, but he is showing his ability to be a pro and work at his game on a daily basis and stay within, not looking too far ahead, not worried about his starts, not worried about playing behind arguably the best goalie in the league so far this season, and he's just kind of stuck with his game. And so it's been impressive. It's easy for a young guy who's really trying to establish himself in the league to lose confidence and start to worry about the outside and his contract and will he be the guy here? But he hasn't let that get to him. So I've been impressed with his mental capabilities here, and his game's in a good spot. Like you said, his record's really good. Everybody's record's really good for the Bruins, but he's gotten points in his last 10 of 11 games. So it's a good duo. And again, just like the forwards, you're probably, if you're going to play 28 playoff games, you're going to probably need both of these guys in net. So it's important for Jeremy to play well for the team and for himself, and he's done that and bounced back really well.
All right, before we let you go here, Razor, just one more on Montgomery. The coaching change, which people have talked about now and Krejci talked about yesterday, is it what Montgomery's doing or the fact that he's not Cassidy? What weighs more, I guess? Because it seems like not being Cassidy is a really big check in a really big feather in his cap. You know what I mean?
It is. And again, that's because Bruce Cassidy was here for 6 years. And so the all-star coaches, just real quick, all-star coaches are Bruce Cassidy, Pete DeBoer, Rod Brindamore, and Jim Montgomery. Jim Montgomery last coached in Dallas, where Pete DeBoer now coaches. Pete DeBoer last coached in Las Vegas, where Bruce Cassidy is.
Right.
And Bruce Cassidy last coached in Boston, where Jim Montgomery is. So if you have a good team, good organization, that the voice goes away from the coach and you need something new. So there is a big check for sure that it's not Bruce Cassidy. I think what Jim Montgomery brings is offensively, he thinks much different than Bruce Cassidy. And I think he's been able to get the best out of his players with that, especially the defensemen. The weak side D is getting so many more opportunities offensively. And a lot of that is coaching, allowing them to take more opportunities, to take more chances. So there is a big check that he's not Bruce Cassidy, but I also think Jim Montgomery's pressing the right buttons and communicating very well with all the players.
All right, then we'll leave it right there. Andrew Raycroft, great stuff as always. Thanks so much.